Hi, I'm Stephen King, CEO of GrowthForce, and you're watching the Nonprofit Guide to Making Data-Driven Decisions video series. This is step 2. Focus on the core 4 decisions that help you increase outcomes, raise more money, and improve cash flow. The first step of this is to know what are the decisions that'll help you increase outcomes. First, figure out what programs do you stop, which programs do you start, and which programs do you continue. This decision has the biggest impact on your organization because it defines who you are, the way you serve your clients. So you do that by figuring out which programs get you the greatest outcomes for the people that you serve. The second way is to look at which programs contribute the most to your development goals and help you increase your cash flow. Now, money shouldn't drive program, but the best programs, the ideal programs, also help you raise money. Decision 2 is, when should you hire new staff? This is a hard one. It's very difficult for a board and executive directors to add a new person because payroll is 70% or more of the costs in a nonprofit. And when you add a new person, you're stepping up your labor cost. And since nobody likes to let anyone go, those become permanent costs. So the way you do that is by understanding your service units. Look at each of the services you provide, each of the programs that you offer, and define them into a unit where you can see how much time does it take to deliver each one of those units. Then you compare the hours that you need for the services you wish to provide versus the hours that are available today. And if you're short hours, then you can go and have a data-driven decision about adding more staff. Now, when you're adding new staff, this is a great time to ask donors to help pay for that headcount. You can get a bigger gift from your donors if you can show them the return on investment that they get by their contribution to your mission. And you do that by showing them the number of outputs that are going to happen per month as a result of their contribution. When you hire that new person, how many outputs, how many programs, and how many services are going to get delivered to your clients? Then you can show them how their money is going to have an impact on the number of outcomes that are a result of those services and those programs. And the time to go to your donors is best when you're hiring somebody new because you can take that total cost, that person, that fully loaded labor cost, that person, and spread it out over 12 months and ask them to make a monthly gift, a sustainer gift that will make it easy for them to budget over the course of the year and allows you to have a dependable source of income. And this is a lot easier if you can show your donors how their money will help impact on your mission. Decision 3 is, who do you serve? What defines the ideal client? Now, there's 2 ways to look at it. First is a non-financial measure. You want to look at your clients and see which one of them leverage the most of your services and they create the best outcomes. For example, in a homeless shelter, they have 112 beds and they're full every night. And when the executive director and the board are trying to figure out how do they create more outcomes, they look at their mission. Their mission is to break the cycle of homelessness and abuse. And they found that the best way to do that, the services that they provide, the outputs that they have to break that cycle, to achieve that mission, is their vocational services, their training program. They got 6 courses that they asked their clients to go through in order to get that first job. And that first job is the outcome that has the biggest impact on their mission. You get that first job and you break the cycle of homelessness more often than anything else that they do. So when they're looking at how to increase the number of outcomes, you look at the number of beds and you say, we want to attract and retain people who are going through that vocational training program, because that's how we get the most outcomes. The second way of figuring out who is the right client is a financial measure. You want to look at the revenue for each client and the cost to deliver the services for each of the clients. What that allows you to do is to start looking at the unit economics of your outcomes and your programs and your services and figure out which ones of your clients will get you the most outcomes per dollar spent. You're going to find is not all clients are created equal. Decision 4 is, how do you get the best return on investment from your development office? You can raise more money and get an higher average gift if you can demonstrate to a donor how their contribution has an impact on your mission and the people that you serve. And then the second thing you want to look at is, which programs are your donors most interested in contributing to? And then the third is, calculate how much how much do you spend for every dollar that you raise? Which of your development activities generate the biggest return on investment or the most cost effective? Looking at these unit economics allows you to compare everything, but you must include your labor costs, your fully loaded labor costs, because payroll is 70% of the budget. And if you're not tracking time and allocating that payroll to your development activities, you're missing the biggest expense you've got. What you're going to find is the gala or the silent auction or the golf outing, they might not be as profitable as you think they are. So in summary, the 4 core decisions that you need to make to increase outcomes and raise more money and improve cash flow is: which programs do you stop, start, or continue? When do you hire new staff? Which clients should you serve? And how do you get the biggest ROI from your development operations? If you've got the data to give you the visibility into answering those questions, you can have the biggest impact on your organization. I hope you'll stay and watch our next video, Step 3, how to define the outputs that create the most outcomes.